Fill valve for a toilet. Question: when if you're rebuilding a fill valve, this would stick down. This would be in the tank of the toilet. This would be your float that would come up and off. Okay, question. Sometimes people venture out and try to replace it. There's a little cap that would go right here. If you decide to do so, you can actually pick this up, and then this rubber part would actually come out. And I don't know how successful we're going to be with it, but notwithstanding, this rubber part here would come out like so, and you can get a rebuild kit and just take this rubber washer off and put a new one on, and a new one would go right back on there. And then this would go this way. It's got a little, if you can note here, it's got a little pin in here. So just try to line this up with the pin. And once you line this up with the pin here and put it back on, but this would be the old one. Replace the part with the new one. And again, this is a fill valve for a toilet. It allows the water to go up and fill the bowl of the toilet. Once it gets to a certain level and the float comes up, it cuts itself off. Sort of like it's a different analogy, but it's kind of similar, in a similar fashion, the way a sump pump works when the water fills. When the water fills, in this particular case, it actually shuts it off. But this is where, and the name fill valve bespeaks, it fills the water up. So the water actually comes here through the hose, which would be attached to a 1/2 inch, whether that be PEX, copper, coming up out of the floor, out of the wall. And then one would have a 3/8 by 7/8. I think it's a 3/8 by 7/8. So the 7/8 hose would fit onto the bottom of here. It would come up, fill the water, and once the water fills to a certain level, then this float comes up. But sometimes if you have problems out of it and you decide to rebuild it, this would come on the top part here. So as one can see from here, this is where the little thing gummy would go. It would seat in here, but then it would seat onto this little gadget right here. And it's got a little kind of a needle looking thing sticking out. So just line this up when you do this. Say, for instance, if you did this, you would take the new one and hypothetically try to line it up somewhat. Let's see here, along the lines of so. And once you get it lined up here, and kind of difficult to hold it and do it at the same time, but you would get this lined up, then you would get it in there like so, press it in there like so, and then this gadget here, and it would have on top, it would have a little cap on top, and so this would help out. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you can go through all that to rebuild it that way if you're trying to miser out a few bucks and save $1 or $2. But my opinion is, if it were me, I would just replace the entire fill valve. Simply just get a brand new fill valve, whatever brand name you would like, whatever works with you. And to me, it would be easier, because if you do that, all you have to do is drain the water, and then has a new nut, take the old one out, put the new one in. So I would just, as opposed to going through this, but if you want to go through this and and if you have enough patience to deal with it, you can replace that washer, but it may be easier just to replace the entire fill valve for the toilet. Thank you for watching.